Hello and welcome to HT's weekly talk show, The Interview. Sushmita Dev was among Rahul Gandhi's loyalists. I use the word was because she recently quit the Congress to join the Trinamool Congress. What happened? Why did she leave a party which she and her father, Santosh Mohan Dev, belonged to? Was it opportunism? Was it betrayal? In this edition of HT's weekly talk show, we speak to Sushmita Dev to find out what actually happened. Welcome to the show, Sushmita, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Kumkum. It's always nice to talk to you.
How did it feel when the tagline under your name changed from Congress to TMC?
When a tagline changes, what is important to me as an individual is that there should be good reasons for it. There should not be bad reasons for it. There should not be ugly reasons for it. And there should not be selfish reasons for it. So, going from one tagline to another is not easy, Kumkum. It's been a very tough call for me. But given my circumstances, I'll say that I have no regrets with my new tagline. I'm happy.
Will you explain when you say given your circumstances? Because there is a lot of surprise at the move you took, which may have been in good sense, of course. But would you take us through some of these reasons?
You see, the natural thing for me, Kumkum, is to say this is wrong with the Congress and that is wrong with the Congress. So when I talk about my circumstances, that's not necessarily any kind of a judgment on the Congress party. But I think some of the situations that emerged in my area after the last assembly election and what has been building up from the last MP election told me that I may not be in a position to do what I want to do, which is actually serve the people of my constituency. And as you know my father, you knew my father very well. He has served this constituency for many decades. And before that, my grandfather was also in Congress and served in the Assam state politics as a health minister. So I felt that I may not be in a position to serve my people if I continued in the same platform. And those circumstances have been building up over some time. And whatever little politics I understand of my area and my people compelled me to take this decision.
So, what were the constraints within the Congress, and what were you not able to do, which the TMC will help you do?
I felt that after the assembly election, the mood of the people here became very clear. Although you will be happy to know that the alliance we did with AUDF and other parties, CPM, etc., we actually got 9 out of 15 seats in Barak Valley, whereas in Brahmaputra Valley, where there are 40 plus seats, Congress party only got 4 seats. But as you understand, being a political journalist yourself, that Lok Sabha is fought in one way and assembly is fought in another way. And factors are also different in the minds of the people. So when I did my own little internal survey about what is going to be the future of Congress in my valley, but I felt that the chances of the Congress party were not very bright, and there was a sense of disenchantment amongst the workers and amongst the people because of some of the decisions the Congress party took. So those were the constraints, and I basically gauged the mood of the people and then took the decision. Because you see, I'm in electoral politics, Kumkumji. I cannot, I cannot turn a blind eye to what people are saying and what people are thinking and what my supporters were saying. So I felt constrained, and I felt that if I want to pursue my career in electoral politics, I have to look for a new beginning.
Does this somehow substantiate what your critics say, that this is more political opportunism, or would you say as some of them have said, a betrayal?
See, there is no doubt that there are many people who must feel betrayed. I mean, I would too if I was in their position. But see, opportunism would have been for me to jump to the BJP. That would have been opportunism to my mind. My critics may still feel what I've done is opportunism. But what I've actually signed up for is faith in my leader, Mamata Banerjee, and signed up for actually building the organization from grassroots. So, opportunism is when you go on to a greener and a much better pasture and an easier life, and straight away go and become an MLC and a minister and a central minister. It's none of that. So, I would tell my critics to analyze it better before they accuse me of opportunism.
What about betrayal?
See, betrayal is a very strong word, Kumkum, and I'm sure some people feel that I have betrayed the Congress. But I can tell you one thing with my hand on my heart. While I was in the Congress party, I started from student politics in Delhi University. And whatever responsibility the party gave me, I uh, tried to fulfill that duty with complete sincerity and integrity. I hope that the workers who worked with me when I was in the Congress will stand testimony that I did not betray them. Yes, I parted ways, and that's the way I look at it.
Was it heartbreaking to leave?
Of course, it was because uh, I've shared 3 decades of a relationship with the party. So when you part ways, if one doesn't feel it's an emotional setback, then you're not human, is what I would say.
You said that you would, if it would have been opportunism if you had joined the BJP. I take that point. Why is it that you did not join the BJP? Was it because it did not work out? Was it that they did not want you? Or was it that you didn't want to go?
See, one, the BJP and my ideology are diametrically opposite. And I think Mamata and Trinamool Congress have ideology that matches mine. But joining the BJP was never an option. And Kumkumji, if I were to think with some foresight in my mind, look at the mood of the nation. I mean, you've seen that the recent surveys have shown that Prime Minister Modi's popularity is falling. And I think no one can deny the fact that Trinamool Congress is becoming a force to reckon with. So, looking at the mood of the nation and all of that, and primarily my ideology, there was no question of me approaching the BJP. There were feelers in the past from the BJP, but I've consistently said no because I'm very clear that I will do politics with which I'm comfortable. I will do politics keeping in mind the value system and the ideology of my family and what's in my blood. And there's no question, there was never any question of going to the BJP. If the BJP says that I tried to approach them, I think I will challenge that straight away because I have never approached anybody in the BJP to join the BJP.
You spoke about your father, you spoke about your family, and I'm sure, the sentimental person that you are, you must have stopped to think, what would Baba say? What do you think he would say to your joining the TMC and leaving the Congress?
I love the fact that you refer to my father as Baba because that's what we call a father at home. See, Baba was a person, he always said your conscience should be clear. And you must you must not be devious and conniving about anything, always backed with a straight back, like they say. And I think that's what I tried to do. Like, for instance, a lot of people said you had access to Mrs. Gandhi, you had access to Rahul Gandhi, why didn't you go to them, why didn't you speak with them? But you see, I had thought it through, and I thought the best way to part ways was by writing what I feel. And I think the way I conducted myself had a lot to do with my upbringing, the way my father and my mother brought me up. And I feel my father would never, if he's watching me from above, I have given him no reason to be ashamed of myself, and I'd like to believe that.
You spoke about the way you should have done this, and there were 2 points which I would have come to later, but I'll take them now. One, that many felt that it was unethical for you to attend a closed door meeting with Mr. Rahul Gandhi a day before you put in your papers, and second, that you should have personally gone and met Mrs. Gandhi and told her about your decision rather than send in your papers and then switched off your phone.
Kumkum, you've watched Indian politics for many decades. You're a senior journalist. Have you ever heard of anybody going to the Congress president or the president of their party to say, "Oh, I'm about to leave the party. I came to say bye"? I mean, theoretically, it sounds right. I will not say it's a fair question, but I think practically it's not possible. And once I had made up my mind, I just felt that it's better to move on and take a clean break. Also what happens is if you go and start telling people in your party, oh, I'm about to leave, I'm about to leave, it also sends a wrong message, like as if you're expecting your party to give you some, offer. Ki, oh, Sushmita, what is it you want? Do you want Rajya Sabha? Do you want to go as an in charge of a state? So I thought that if I did start a dialogue with anybody in the Congress to say I'm leaving and I'm leaving for this reasons, it might be taken as an indication of me trying to negotiate some kind of a deal with the party I am. And I didn't want to put myself in that position. I also believe that Congress president is an astute politician, and I'm sure she appreciates and she's well briefed by the AICC in charge and others in the party about what unfolded in Assam and especially in my valley. And I can only pray that and hope that she sees it from my perspective.
When you meet Mrs. Sonia Gandhi the next time around, would you be able to, and I'm saying this more emotionally rather than politically, because politically what you say fits in, that you don't tell
Yeah.
a leader that, look, I'm going to resign. But I'm saying this to you more. Would you be able to look her straight in the eye?
See, Mamata Di left the Congress party in 97. And in the recent assembly election, there was a crushing defeat of the Congress in the West Bengal. And we have seen on 20th of August and before that, Mamata Di is now approaching the Congress party for a united opposition. So if you like that in politics, in politics, situations change very quickly, and next time when I meet Mrs. Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi ji, that I believe that it will not be a bitter moment, and I get that optimism from the fact that today Sharad Pawar was someone who left the Congress and formed NCP. Mamata Di formed Trinamool Congress after leaving the Congress. And Jagan Reddy left the Congress, although Jagan is not part of this alliance, but neither is Mamata Di a part of the UPA alliance. But yet they are civil to each other, they have a common enemy, and they have a common purpose. So I hope that in my case also it will pan out like that.
The examples you gave are quite different because, and I ask this because you have or had an emotional bond.
I mean, emotional is a very strong word. I mean, I can't say whether anybody is emotional about me in politics, but sometimes in politics, everybody puts their emotions aside, and politics is about relevance. Politics is about being able to represent your people. So every decision and the only factor I believe should not be emotions.
Point well taken. You said things in politics change. Do you ever foresee a situation when you would join the BJP if things in politics change?
I would rather leave politics than go to the Bharatiya Janata Party.
So you're going over to the TMC. How did it pan out? Who called whom? Was it a dinner meeting at your sister's?
There's no doubt that my sister and Derek O'Brien's wife, they go back a long way. So I have met them socially on many, many occasions over the last many years. I don't deny that. But you see, a political decision cannot happen over dinner, as you know. So there were meetings. And you see, Kumkum, once I have taken a decision, who spoke to who and who tapped who, because this whole controversy about poaching, while the opposition unity has come up time and again. But I think it's a dignified thing to do, to not discuss this in public and say that I don't blame anybody. I don't blame the TMC. I don't blame the Congress. This is my decision, and I have to live with the choice I've made. And I'm very happy to live with the consequences.
You had a closed door meeting with Mr. Rahul Gandhi on August 14th, and on August 15th, you quit. Fair enough. But there must have been back channel talks and work in progress before that, as they say. So, two things. One, what transpired, as much as you tell me. And second, as people say, it was then not ethical for you to have attended that meeting.
I think when some people say to go and meet Rauji on 14th and then leave on the 15th is unethical, I won't say that's fair comment on the situation. But when I went on the 14th, I was yet to take the decision. So let's say if I took the decision on 17th, would it have been any different? No. Suppose I took the decision on 21st. People would have still said you met Rahulji on 14th, and why did you shift on the 20th? So without focusing on the timing of the decision, I can tell you this much, that uh, uh, I made up my mind only on the day that I wrote my resignation, that is on the 15th of August. And before that, on the 14th, I was still in the Congress party and I had not made up my mind. So, and that's the truth, Kumkum. I mean, I don't expect you to believe me, and many people won't, but this is the truth.
So it was just the timing, because, and if it was not, then there were back channel talks which must have happened before.
See, I think Derek answered that question very well in the press meet he did on the 17th. And he said if anybody is inspired by Mamtadi and wants to join the party, we have absolutely no issues with it. And I think the dignified thing to do is to leave it at that. And who spoke to who, what, I mean, it's maybe giving away the tricks of giving away some secrets which we should hold close to our heart again in case it happens again. One doesn't know. It's very unpredictable. So I think you will give me that much leeway to not talk about it. But if I ever meet you somewhere else over a cup of tea, I'll be very happy to chat with you.
I was just going to say that if you don't tell me now, you can tell me over tea or coffee in the Central Hall in Parliament.
Maybe.
There are some statements which are attributed to you, and I'm going to ask them one by one. And if you get upset, just remember that I knew your father. So, but
Correct.
I want you to set the record straight. So I'm going to take them one by one. On
Yeah.
July 26th, you had hinted that wait for 2-3 days, something big is coming. Is that right?
If I said it, I don't know what is the context in which I said it. But I can tell you this much, Kumkum, that even if I did say it, which I can't remember, it was not, this was not the context. I mean, if somebody has written that or quoted me somewhere, they may have misunderstood what I'm saying. I mean, that's what I'd like to put on record.
In March, you had said if 6-7 seats are given away in Barak Valley, why should grassroots workers remain with the Congress? And people say that in less than 6 months, you showed the way. So, what would you say to that?
You see, when any alliance happens, right, whether it is in UP, whether it is in Bihar, you watched many elections where elections have been fought in alliance. It's a given that if I'm a booth worker and I'm working day and night and fighting with AUDF and BJP in the past to win an election, and then my seat is given away, so I suddenly become I have to suddenly start working for parties uh, who I've fought with in the past, right? So it's a very difficult situation for workers. And you see, it is but natural that they'll fight for their turf. It is but natural that they'll be disappointed. It's like you've lived in a house for 30 years. Now your house is being, auctioned. You would also feel bad. It's human nature. So I mean, if I said that by giving away so many seats, it will hurt the sentiments of worker, I think that reflects the truth. And there's nothing wrong in saying that, because it's like you have to now start working for another party. And if you look at the trend, I feel sometimes in a tie-up, in an alliance, somebody suffers.
And finally, the party, quote unquote, did not give our hard fought win proper respect. There is a limit, and we cannot continue working if we are treated like second class workers in the party. Is this true? Did you say this, or have you been grossly misquoted?
I don't think I would ever use words like second class and all. That's not true. And I think the fact that I did well in Barak Valley compared to Brahmaputra Valley, from where all the Congress chief ministers come, and PWD minister and PND minister, all the ministers came from Brahmaputra Valley. So, given the fact that the amount Congress party is given to the Brahmaputra Valley, they could have performed better. I may have been quoted out of context. And when Congress won 4, AUIDF won 5, and that report was with Congress president. And my in charge, Jitendra Singh ji, definitely gave me a pat on my back. But having said that, I didn't think that the future of Congress uh, was that great after the assembly election, because that was the pulse of the people in my valley.
Is it also true that you almost quit the Congress party in March, but it was Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Mr. Rahul Gandhi who persuaded you to stay on?
See, I had certain issues with the number of seats that were being given, and there's something called A category seats, right? So if you give all the winning seats to the alliance, then I'm left to fight all the tough seats. So I did raise it with the High Command, and they did intervene. It's not like they didn't. I would be lying if I said that Congress president didn't intervene. But having said that, uh, it still didn't pan out well for me in the long run.
But did they persuade you to stay on when you
See,
were,
I'll,
for
I'll tell
political
you,
reasons?
I'll tell you exactly what happened. They gave away a seat in my Lok Sabha constituency, in which, in the general election, we always take a lead. The largest lead is from there. So when they gave away that seat, the workers of that seat were very, very angry. And they came to see me in my hotel, and they were saying, "We are all going to resign. We are all going to resign. We are not going to work." And I was surrounded by these workers. So as it happens these days, everybody has a camera in their hand. Correct. So I said, fine, hold on. If we resign, we'll all resign together, but calm down, let's talk about it. So someone caught that on camera, and the news flashed right from Assam to Delhi that Sushmita Dev has resigned. But I did not resign. I didn't tender my resignation at that point of time.
But did the Gandhis persuade you because you were miffed, because you were upset, again for political reasons? Did they persuade you to stay on and say things will get better, Sushmita?
No, I never threatened to leave. Let me put that on record. It is not true. I never threatened to leave, but that's the way the news ran, no doubt about it. So your question is fair, but I'd like to put on record that I absolutely did not write a resignation. I didn't threaten a resignation. I did none of that, and that's the fact.
You know, some of us who have watched you speak and speak well in Parliament, who have watched you lead from the front, feel that in the TMC you may get overshadowed and may be in what I would say a also ran category and may not get the position of prominence that you did in the Congress.
See, I'll tell you something. Whether I'm prominent or not, whether I'm more relevant or less relevant, only time will tell. And I think what is relevant and what is prominent are both subjective. One person may think I'm relevant, one may think I'm not. So I think I have taken a decision. I've made up my mind to work hard, and you know, rest is destiny. But I have no insecurities. I have no ideas of petty competition anywhere. I hope that I perform well in whatever position I get, whatever responsibility I get. And like you yourself said that you thought my performance was good, I'll work hard. And I think hard work pays off somewhere or the other. And I would like to keep believing that.
You have Mahua Moitra to contend with, and she's articulate, she's English speaking.
Moha Motra is an excellent orator, and she has risen from the ranks. She's fought an MLA election, then she's fought an MP election, and I can give you examples of many parties where there are several good orators and several good parliamentarians. You know, whether it's in the Congress or the Trinamool or BJD or any other party, and I think that's healthy. It's more the merrier. You know, there's no harm in having 10, 15 good orators in a party. And I don't think that that is an issue. And that's not the right spirit as far as I'm concerned.
In your resignation letter, you had mentioned your memorable journey in the Congress. Will you take me through some pleasant and unpleasant incidents and moments?
I have a plethora of pleasant memories, and I will never forget that Rahul Gandhi ji, my leader, came to my father's funeral. I will never forget that Priyanka Gandhi ji campaigned for the first time outside UP in my constituency, although I couldn't win that election. And unpleasant um, could be what I faced in my 2000, just before my 2019 election. It was a very difficult moment because BJP spread the narrative in the Hindu Bengali areas that Congress is opposing CAA, they don't want to give you citizenship. And BJP went to the Muslim areas and said that, look, Sushmita Dev is supporting CAA, although Congress is not. So it was a very difficult moment for me. People were burning my effigies, you know, on both sides, and I couldn't understand how to deal with it. But I went back and spoke to Rahul ji about it and explained it to him, and he understood. And he said, "Look, politics is very dynamic, and this will pass." So I think that period was a very difficult period for me, but I got through it. I got through it, and you know, I think that's what I want to say. And there are many pleasant memories with Madam Gandhi also. You know, on Women's Day, on her birthday, we used to all go and wish her, and I'll hold them close to my heart always.
Her next birthday, will you go and wish her?
I don't know if, see, now I'm in a different party and I don't know what the protocol of my party is. So if my leader chooses to go and take a delegation, it depends whether I'm in that delegation. So I'll just have to wait and see. But I mean, I'm sure that, you know, that will unfold in the future.
You know, you called Sonia Gandhi a mother figure and you said Mamata Banerjee is your leader. And again, well worded statement, well meant. But one feeling is that by saying that, you are keeping your options open and not making a clean break with the Congress.
I'm glad you asked me that because a lot of people are saying all your interviews are about the Gandhi family and the Congress. So I want to make it crystal clear that my allegiance, my political allegiance is with Mamata Di and All India Trinamool Congress. But I hold the Congress leaders in high regard. And there's nothing more to it, there's nothing less than that. And I think my track record will prove that I don't ride two boats. There is no question of any doubt in my mind that Mamata Di is my leader.
And Sonia Gandhi remains a mother figure.
Obviously, I mean, you know, you talk to any opposition leader, you talk to the leader of any party, most people hold her in very high regard. I mean, you have watched Parliament so closely. I mean, I'm sure you'll agree with me. She's very well respected.
What is it about the Congress that you were and are upset about? And this I say about the party. And what needs to be really repaired?
You know, Kumkum, I'll tell you something. Congress is definitely going through a tough period, but uh, I believe that uh, I believe that you can't write off the Congress, and that's why the opposition, Congress is very much a part of the opposition unity, you know, and they'll come out of it. They're trying to solve their internal issues, and it's not easy. But I sometimes feel that sometimes the decisions get delayed, and I am sure they have very good reasons for the delay in the decision. But I wish that didn't happen because things change every hour in politics. So
You mentioned the CAA. Is it true that the Congress position, which was anti CAA, put you in a difficult position in your constituency and state because the Bengali Hindus in Assam were for it? And also, you were not involved in the process when the party formulated its stand on CAA.
see, CAA, when the party formulated its position, and many other parties and the entire country, they were opposing it because of the fact that it was not constitutional. So I had no disagreement with my parties when they said that leaving out giving citizenship on the basis of religion has never happened in India and it shouldn't happen again. We had no problem with that. But I think what I didn't have in my seat, in my constituency and my valley is a counter narrative. Remember that Barak Valley has almost 30% plus Muslim population. And they were opposed to Ka. So I never said, oh, I support Ka. All I said is that because Assam is having an NRC, see, NRC is a unique phenomena which is only happening in Assam. So when people get left out, doesn't matter what their caste, community, and religion is, there must be a solution as per the constitution. That's what I was telling my party repeatedly. But obviously, at that point of time, there was no solution. But later, Torun Gogoiji did say that all the people in the 2014 and 19 voters list are citizens and they will not be treated as foreigners. But at that point of time, I just couldn't build a counter narrative because the anti-car movement as a whole was so big. And Hindu Bengalis who have come after partition from Bangladesh, it was more of a sentimental issue. And as you know, elections are often fought on emotions, and that's what happened to me. So, but I never said that I would support anything that is unconstitutional. But I did want a constitutional solution for people who would be left out of the NRC. You can't leave lakhs of people stateless. I mean, is Bangladesh going to take them back? No. So, what are you going to do with them? We'll have to answer that question sooner or later. Maybe it doesn't suit anyone to answer that question now, but that question will come, and that's the question I asked, and nobody had an answer at that point of time, and that's the answer I couldn't give to my people.
Within the party rivalry, have you been sidelined or were you sidelined by Gaurav Gogoi? And some appointments in the PCC were made which gave him an edge. Were you miffed with that?
See, I'll tell you something. When the names for PCC was being discussed, Kumkum, Gaurav Gogoiji's name also came up as the PCC. And I can tell you and put it on record that I said I'll be very happy if he himself became the Assam Pradesh Congress president. So where's the question of being unhappy? I mean, it's a minor issue that I made my change for much bigger reasons. And competition with one individual in the party is too narrow a reason for me to shift parties. And um, I don't think that's tenable, and that cannot be the reason for changing parties.
Point well taken. You know, Mr. Kapil Sibal, of course, he's welcome to his views. But as an objective politician, let me ask you what he said about the Congress and what you would say to that. That the Congress is moving with its eyes wide shut. What would you say to that?
See, I feel sometimes it's very easy to pass judgment from the outside. And, you know, a letter was written to the Congress president and all of that. And I think she's paid due heed to that. And I personally feel, I mean, that's my opinion, that if you have to say something to the party, you shouldn't go public with it. Then everyone will have something or the other to say. And Kapil Sibal ji is a very senior leader, and I shouldn't be passing judgment on him. But I don't think it's a healthy exercise to publicly keep speaking about your party. You know, You can shoot off letters, you know, or do whatever. I don't know. But going public only puts the party in bad light. And I think it's
You
improper.
You also said that the 2024 fight against the BJP would be fought jointly by Mamata Banerjee, Sonia Gandhi, and the others. But the way it is panning out is that Mamata Banerjee is center stage. So, how do you see the 2024 scenario? Do you think she will be
See,
acceptable to all?
there are around 190 plus seats in which the BJP and Congress are in direct contest, right? There's no question of anybody else going there. But in the other seats, wherever other parties are strong, they should put up a good fight against the BJP. That's what I think. I don't know how it will pan out because I'm not privy to those discussions, and I think it may be a little early to say whether Mamata Di will be acceptable, not acceptable. I mean, to me, she's very capable of leading. No problem with that. But I think that has consensus has to be built, and no consensus is built in a day. And how it will pan out, I don't know. I mean, I can't say right now what it will be, but there are many people in the opposition who are all capable of leading. So let's hope that they'll put up a good teamwork.
You work very closely with Sonia Gandhi and know her personally. Do you think she will accept Mamata Banerjee over Rahul Gandhi, either Mamata Banerjee or anyone else as a leader?
See, I can't say what will happen. I mean, it's like I'll have to speculate, which so I don't want to say anything. But Mrs. Gandhi, uh, herself could have been prime minister and she wasn't. So we have to recognize that, and appreciate it, and hopefully she will help build a consensus for whoever is the chosen one. And to say more would be, I think, speculation at this point of time.
While on Rahul Gandhi, what is it that his closest people leave him? Even in your letter to Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, you praised Mrs. Gandhi, but there was not a word about Rahul.
I'll tell you that I was addressing a letter to Congress President that I'm giving up my primary membership. Now, in a letter to Congress President, I know they are mother and son. I can't start mentioning, other leaders. It's not. I thought it was not proper protocol. That's the only reason. But I said that I thank all the leaders of the Congress, and that's it really.
What is it about him that the people who are closest to him leave him?
There's so many people with him still. Like somebody asked Venugopalji in Kerala about me leaving, and he gave an apt answer. He says, "You all keep writing about people leaving, you all never write about people joining. Nana Patole joined, is today's Maharashtra president. Revant Reddy joined, is a member of parliament and now Telangana president. Shatrughan Sinha joined the Congress. So many people are joining the Congress also, na? So I think you need to look at the larger picture. That's the right thing to do.
If one goes by the recent behavior of the TMC in the parliament, it comes across as rowdy, smashing glass doors and injuring security personnel. What do you have to say to that? A party which you have just joined.
I have seen the chief minister of UP giving far more rowdy speeches about Muslim women and that community. So, what is rowdy? I mean, there are enough rowdy people in the BJP. But I think what your viewers need to analyze is what is actually happening to the parliamentary procedures are that they are being decimated and systematically sidelined by the government. And it would impossible to sit back and just watch it happen. So if you are not allowing us to invoke the right procedures to retaliate, then obviously there's going to be mayhem. I mean that's how civil wars happen. When anarchy comes, people take to the streets, and parliament is symbolic of that because right now this country is going through anarchy as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, I remember you said, and you defended it by saying, look at the reasons. But you know what I would say to you, Sushmita, is look at the behavior.
I mean, look at the behavior. of the Prime Minister who refuses to discuss Pegasus when the whole nation is talking about it. Look at the behavior of the Prime Minister, where the farmers are on the street for months and he's not bothered. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but I just think that if you weigh the two sides, the Prime Minister's behavior is far more deplorable than Trinamool Congress. That's what I think.
But two wrongs don't make a right.
Absolutely. And I think it is right to stand up against anarchy. It is right to stand up against the practice of decimating parliamentary procedure. It is right to stand up against bullying in the parliament, which the government is doing.
By rowdyism, by smashing glass doors, by injuring security personnel.
Well, security personnel injured women MPs. Kumkum, you know that when the house is not in order, you cannot carry on with the procedure of the house. How often this government does it? If the house is not in order, you're supposed to adjourn and talk to everybody. This party is not in the business of talking to anybody. Prime Minister doesn't talk to the press, Speaker doesn't talk to the parties. So obviously, you are running a tyranny. And at some point, there'll be a breaking point where people are going to react, and they've reacted. You cannot just bulldoze people in parliament.
So, does that mean rowdy behavior? And are you defending it?
I think there's no question of defending the indefensible, but I believe that what the government is doing to parliamentary procedures is absolutely indefensible. And anybody who understands how a democracy works, anybody who understands how a parliament will function, cannot disagree with me that it is simple and pure anarchy what the government has unfolded in the parliament. When do people take to the streets when no one is listening to you? When do people, when do people get pushed over the edge in our country? When no one's listening to you, and that's what's happening in the parliament. If you're not going to listen to the voice of the opposition, if you're not going to listen to your people, what should they do? They have to retaliate. And that's a simple principle in a democracy. It happens. People take to the streets protesting, demanding whatever they are demanding. That's what's happening in the parliament.
So, do I take it that once you are back in parliament, you will be part of this rowdy behavior?
Wherever I am, whether it's in the parliament, whether it's in the assembly, whether it's on the ground, whether it's in a booth committee, I will defend democracy. I assure you, Kumkum. I will make sure I defend democracy. I will make sure I defend the constitution, and I will do whatever it takes to not destroy what this country is about and what the idea of India is about. I will fight till my last breath.
Finally, what is your roadmap for the future besides getting the Rajya Sabha, which the Congress was not able to give you?
You see, Rajya Sabha is not in the reckoning for me, and I joined Trinamool Congress without any conditions. And by the way, like you keep saying, there's this news going around, set the record straight. Now Congress is saying they were giving me a Rajya Sabha. I heard somewhere. I don't know if it's true, but I'm just saying that I absolutely love electoral politics. I thrive on it. I'm a people's person, and I want to continue doing electoral politics. आपके मुंह में घी शक्कर, मुझे तो कोई राज्यसभा की खबर नहीं है. अगर आपको है बताइएगा जरूर कंफर्म करके. But I joined the party unconditionally, and it is not a question of Congress couldn't give me Rajya Sabha. If we had done well this time in Assam, I would like to believe that I would have been given one. But मेरी किस्मत में नहीं है, क्या करे कुमकुम जी.
Sushmita Dev, thank you very much. Thank you for your time, and thank you for answering all the questions.
Thank you, Kumkum. Lovely talking to you always.